Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class 10th. This is the video which I want to upload for your next Zoom class that will be tomorrow inshallah. And in the previous Zoom class we discussed about the introduction of the homeostasis and the three different mechanisms of the homeostasis. Already we discussed that homeostasis is a mechanism through which the living organism maintain their internal balance instead of fluctuations or changes occur in the external environment, and that balance is done through different mechanism phenomena, which is osmoregulation, thermoregulation and excretion. It's the regulation of the osmotic fluid inside the living organism. It's the regulation of the temperature of the internal environment of the living organism, and this is the removal of the extra or toxic material which is produced as a result of different metabolic activities. Now we will discuss the homeostasis in plants, that how the plant maintain their balance of internal environment if there any change occur in the external environment, or if the external environment sometime become unfavorable, and how they protect their internal environment safe and protected from the fluctuations of external environment, or sometime if they are produce some byproduct or extra material like sometime oxygen, sometime carbon dioxide and sometime nitrogenous material, how the plant cope with such situation. The first one that we will discuss is the removal of extra carbon dioxide and oxygen. These are the two gases that are produced inside the plants as a result of photosynthesis and respiration, breathing. As a result of photosynthesis, the plant use the carbon dioxide, formation of the carbohydrates occur, and oxygen is produced as a byproduct. As a result of breathing or respiration inside the cells of the plants, oxygen is used for the breaking of the food, energy is released, and carbon dioxide is released in the form of the byproduct. So whenever the oxygen is as a byproduct, or carbon dioxide act as a byproduct or extra material, how the plant remove such material. If you're talking about the leaves, the young stems, they release all such gases through special structures which are known as stomata. And you people already know about the structure of the stomata. You studied it in grade 9. So stomata are the small pores, small structure guarded by the guard cells. They are responsible for the opening and the closing of the stomata, and when the stomata are open, it means that inside the young stem, inside the leaves, they can use for the release of the carbon dioxide and for the release of the oxygen too. But if we are talking about the root, how the root expel these material, so the root expel the material through the root hairs through the process of diffusion. So these gases diffuses out from the general surface of the root hairs, as well as the oxygen that is produced inside the leaves as a result of photosynthesis. That oxygen is sometimes utilized in the cellular respiration, but if more oxygen is present and it become an extra thing for the plant, so it can escape from the internal environment of the plant through special same structures, stomata. So mainly the stomata are used for the release of the oxygen and carbon dioxide from the internal parts of the plant. Next is the removal of extra water. Extra water is removed from the plants because when the water absorbed by the plants, that water sometime become extra, as well as the water is formed during the cellular respiration. When the food is broken down, along with the energy, water is also produced as a byproduct. So what happens in the plants when the extra water available to them? Sometimes the plants use that water for maintaining the turgidity. what is meant by turgidity. You already got the concept from in the grade 9, but here I will define that turgidity is the swell condition of the plant cell when they absorb water, when they absorb material and the cell becomes swell. That condition is known as turgidity. So sometimes the plants take that extra water in the cells to maintain their turgidity for the strength and support of the cells, and sometimes they release that water through special pores at the edges of the leaves, especially at the night time when the stomata are closed and there is no way to escape the extra water. So from the edges they release the water, and those water droplets are normally seen at the surface, at the sides of the leaves, and that is known as guttation. Guttation means when uninjured parts of the plant release water, like here the droplet are you can see the droplets on the surface of the leaves, and these droplets arise as a result of release of water from the edges of the leaves through the special pores. The water release, and this is guttation. Now toward the removal of the other metabolic waste. Metabolic wastes like nitrogen containing compounds are produced inside the body when different metabolic activities occur. Sometimes the anabolic, sometimes the catabolic activities occur. As a result of those activities, some extra material, metabolic or nitrogenous material, formed inside the plant body, and in the example of which is given here, like one of the metabolic waste is the calcium oxalate. So here this is the structure of the tomato plant. In tomato skin, calcium oxalate is deposited here to get rid of calcium oxalate because it can harm the other parts of the tomato plant. So root, stem and leaves of the tomato send this metabolic material or waste into the fruit or into the skin of the tomato, and it settle down there. Likewise, many other plants adjust their metabolic waste, like here resin drops. You can see that the resin drops already we can see it on the different stem, on the structure, on the stem of the different plants from which the resin drops arise, and this resin is actually their metabolic waste. Some latex, like in rubber plant, when we cut that plant, a liquid, that is milky liquid, arise from their stems, sometimes their leaves, and that liquid is known as latex, and latex can be a metabolic waste for the specific plants. Here you can see that this plant is a carnivorous plant which capture the different insects through a special liquid which is known as mucilage. This mucilage is actually the material which is produced inside as a nitrogenous material, and that can be toxic. So they, at one way, they get rid of themselves from such nitrogenous waste, and at the other side they capture insects through such material. So here information is given in your book about the waste material which are removed in different plant by different ways, as well as they get benefit of those nitrogenous waste through special ways. So this was all about the removal of different extra material in plants, the removal of water, removal of carbon dioxide and oxygen, and removal of nitrogenous waste.